Today on CTV News at 5, we'll hear from a family friend of the lone survivor of last week's murder-suicide near Claire's home. Shayna Conway was shot 3 times. Plus, concern is growing over a Lethbridge man missing in Vancouver. And some damaging evidence against a Lethbridge man on trial for possessing child pornography.
CTV News with Kayla Carr.
Good afternoon. The sole survivor of last Thursday's murder-suicide near Claire's home can't speak, can't move her left leg, and struggles with the knowledge that 2 of her friends and her boyfriend were gunned down. Shayna Conway was the first one to be shot in the early morning hours last Thursday near Claire's home. She was struck in the abdomen, the thigh, and the shoulder. Yesterday, she endured 8.5 hours of surgery. Doctors are hoping once the swelling goes down in her neck, she'll be able to move her left leg and left wrist again. Conway has expressed extreme distress and grief at not being able to be with the families of those who died in the shooting rampage. Her family wants to make it very clear they are sending their best wishes to all 4 of the other families affected in this tragedy.
That their thoughts and prayers go out to all of the families, and they make it clear that they're talking about all 4 families who have lost loved ones this morning, that they are thinking of not only Shayna's friends in PEI and in Lethbridge, but they're also thinking of the family of Derek. They must be dealing with not only the incredible grief of losing their son, but also the guilt and the struggles of what he did.
And Shayna's journey toward recovery is expected to be a long one. She'll spend at least another 3 to 4 weeks in the hospital in Calgary. Both her parents are now by her side, which is quite a burden on the family because her mom is from PEI and her dad is from Ottawa. The family is setting up a trust fund. You can donate at any TD bank, and it's in Shayna Conway's name. A Lethbridge man on trial for possessing child pornography is confident he can win his case despite setbacks in court today. 28-year-old Patrick Rickman pleaded not guilty to the charges, but this morning the judge ruled an earlier statement of confession will be used as evidence. Alicia Fieldberg reports.
I believe that I do have a valid case, and I believe that I do have a good shot at being found not guilty.
Patrick Rickman is on trial for possessing child pornography. The 28-year-old was charged in August 2009 after a memory stick containing graphic images was found in a study center at the University of Lethbridge. Rickman is representing himself in the case. Yesterday, several police officers gave testimony in voir dire. That means court held a trial within a trial. This morning, the judge ruled a statement made by Rickman at the time of arrest was voluntary and will be used as evidence in the trial. The judge says the statement basically says, yes, this is my USB. I know there's child porn on there because I put it on there. So basically, a confession.
Following the voir dire ruling, Justice Ouellet advised Rickman that options of a lesser sentence may be available today, but not necessarily if the trial continues. But Rickman says he wants to see this through.
On a morality standpoint, I believe that I should continue to plead not guilty because I am looking out for the community, and I think that if the community's best interest is for me to be an upstanding citizen of society and a safe person, then the best thing for me is to get into a treatment center and a health center rather than a jail system where I will continue to learn criminal activities and be surrounded by other criminals.
Rickman says there needs to be more programs to rehabilitate sexual predators and pedophiles. He admits the Crown has a strong case, but will continue standing up for what he calls a systematic problem in society. Alicia Fieldberg, CTV News, Lethbridge.
And that trial is expected to continue in the new year. The case of a Lethbridge man charged with killing another man won't be resolved until the new year. In October, police found the body of 47-year-old Christopher James Ballandine in a North End home. Police say he had been beaten to death with a 2x4. Kerry Zeller is charged with second-degree murder. He'll return to court on January 11th. The defense says they hope for a resolution at that time. The co-accused in this case, 52-year-old Terry Bissonnette, pleaded guilty to manslaughter at his last court appearance and is scheduled to return for sentencing in February. A preliminary hearing is set for a Mexican man accused of gunning down an associate in a drug dispute near Lethbridge. 29-year-old Luis Ochoa Gamez appeared via closed-circuit television. He's charged with second-degree murder in the shooting death of 24-year-old Mauro Hernandez Renteria. Renteria was gunned down in the town of Shaughnessy, north of Lethbridge, last October. A 4-day preliminary inquiry will begin in May. The preliminary inquiry will determine if there's enough evidence to go to trial. And Dory is here now with a first look at weather. Dory, looks like we won't be wind-free until at least Thursday.
Yeah, that's true, Kayla. We do have a low-pressure center to the north. It's pushing a cold front down. We've got some precipitation already starting up in the Peace area in Edmonton. That's going to be heading our way. And the winds come along with that frontal system as well. So, you know, it's going to take a little while before the winds calm down. But when they do, we'll have sunshine and mild temperatures. And I'll tell you all about it in a couple of minutes.
Sounds great. Thanks, Dory. Concern is growing for a former Lethbridge man missing in Vancouver since the weekend. Matthew Hazar was last seen leaving a bar in Gastown after attending an office Christmas party. The Catholic Central graduate had moved to the Lower Mainland to attend the University of British Columbia. His family says the disappearance of the 25-year-old is out of character. Police say anyone who sees or hears from Matthew should call 911. Lethbridge's Member of Parliament calls his first few months in the House of Commons adventurous, but says he's hearing positive reviews from constituents. MP Jim Hillier opened his doors today for an open house. The office space formerly belonged to his predecessor Rick Casson and has since undergone some renovations. Hillier says he believes Canadians are happy with the Harper government because they've been able to keep their election commitments, like abolishing the long gun registry.
And by and large, they're very happy with how things have gone, and it's probably because we've kept our commitments. The people voted on May 2nd based on our commitments. They said we want you to fulfill these commitments, and that's what we've done. And so we haven't had a lot of complaints. You know.
And Hillier says there's been a definite learning curve, but says he's still committed to the job. Well, in the season of giving, one of the most precious gifts is free and in you to give. Canadian Blood Services is in need of blood donations during the Christmas season. As many donors go away during Christmas, Lethbridge residents are reminded to give blood before or after a vacation. Blood Services says giving a gift is easy and friendly on your wallet. Not all blood donations are used for emergencies.
What they do forget is that there are people out there that need blood products every day to survive. We've got cancer patients that need blood, and the need is constant. When you think of maybe a 3-year-old girl that just got diagnosed with leukemia, you're definitely going to be a little bit more inclined to donate during the holiday season.
You can donate blood every 56 days. Call 1-888-2DONATE to set up an appointment. Horseback riding is a very popular activity, but few people realize the potential of being hurt is greater than some other popular activities. This week on Farm TV, riding safety is explored.
The most important safety item to consider when riding is an approved equestrian helmet. Alberta 4-H clubs have now made helmets mandatory for young riders.
4-H really would like to be, more proactive in their risk management, and so as of October 1st of 2011, it's now mandatory that young and more inexperienced riders in 4-H equestrian clubs wear approved equestrian helmets anytime that they're mounted.
Riders also need the right kind of footwear.
You need to be wearing the right type of boot. You need to have a heeled boot that is not going to allow your foot to slip through the stirrup because, there's a huge risk of being drugged by the horse if that happens.
According to staff at the Country Outpost Tack Shop in Coaldale, Alberta, protective riding vests are becoming more popular.
In some settings now, there's things like protective jackets and other equipment as far as if you were to fall off, to help lessen the risk of being crushed if you were stepped on.
Young and beginning riders should also not be afraid to ask questions.
It's okay to say, I'm not comfortable doing this, and let's wait and do it, or I need a different helmet, or, my stirrups are set too high or too low.
Farm TV is brought to you by DA Building Systems.
Coming up after the break, Dory will have the weather details, including her 5-day forecast.